For most of my life, I felt invisible. Like I could disappear and nothing would change. No one listened, no one cared. And after a while, I started believing I didn't matter. But I was wrong. And if you feel like you're a nobody right now, you're wrong too. Here's how I stopped feeling like I didn't matter and how you can too. I grew up constantly being told I wasn't important. My own mother would say things like, "Who are you? You ain't nobody." And if the person who brought you into this world tells you that, you'll start to believe it. I wasn't a cool kid in school. No one wanted my opinion. And the few times I did get to hang out with the popular kids, it was because someone else wasn't there. I was a backup plan. Eventually, I just stopped trying. I figured if I kept to myself, at least I wouldn't have to deal with the rejection. But that's the problem. When you believe you don't matter, you start acting like you don't. And that cycle keeps you stuck. So like I said, when you feel like you don't matter, you stop trying. You convince yourself that your voice, your thoughts, your opinions, they don't count. I started believing that my ideas were wrong before I even said them. I wouldn't apply for things. I wouldn't put myself out there because, what the hell was the point? Even in my relationships, I avoided rejection by only going after women who already showed interest in me. That way I wouldn't have to risk failing. I would drive around, you drive around listening to music, and I would come to a stoplight and I would turn my music down in public, like when I was at a stoplight, because I didn't want people to judge me for the type of music I was listening to. Now I wasn't living. I was hiding. And the worst part, I thought I was protecting myself when really I was just making myself even smaller. The moment everything changed was when I had my son. I didn't want him growing up feeling like I did, afraid to be himself, afraid to take up space, afraid to live. I didn't want him to have to turn down his music at traffic lights like I did, afraid of what strangers might think because of what he was listening to. And I realized the only way I could teach him confidence was if I had it myself. I had to become the person I wanted my son to see. So I started making small changes. Things that felt insignificant at first, but that changed everything. I spoke up more. Even if I thought no one cared, I gave my opinion anyway. I stopped pretending to like things that just to fit in. Like I would listen to certain musics, for instance, just because it was popular. Like, oh, this is what everybody's listening to. So this is what I would listen to. I stopped doing that shit. I set small goals for myself. Things that only mattered to me. And when I hit them, it gave me the courage to set bigger ones. Slowly but surely, I stopped caring if people liked me. And I just started being me. And here's the crazy part. When I finally embraced who I was, when I finally said to myself, I don't give a fuck anymore, that's when I started actually making real connections. Today, I have real friendships. People who know me for who I am and not who I pretend to be. I've coached and mentored people, and those people have told me how much I've helped them. My family, the ones closest to me, and my other relationships, those grew stronger when I started showing up as myself. And I realized that people actually value what is it I had to say. The same voice that I once silenced is now the voice that people seek out for help. So if you feel like you don't matter, let me tell you this. You do, pimp. Because if aliens came to Earth and wanted to understand our world, They need your story too, because your perspective, your experiences, and your existence adds something that no one else can. You don't have to be famous, dude. Like, you don't have to be somebody to everybody. You just have to show up as you. You don't need to matter to everyone. You just need to matter to yourself. And when you do, everyone else would follow. If this hit home for you, drop a comment and tell me. What's one thing you love about yourself? And if you need a reminder why you matter, dude, stick around. Hit subscribe. Because I promise you this, you're not a fucking nobody.